Welcome to the Spiritual Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Sherisse Marie. This podcast is your sanctuary for peace, insight, and spiritual nourishment. Each episode is thoughtfully crafted to inspire and enlighten, blending timeless wisdom with modern relevance, all aimed at nurturing your spirit and igniting your curiosity. Whether you're beginning your spiritual journey or seeking deeper understanding, consider this space your companion on the path to enlightenment. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And I am here with the lovely Katya, and we are going to talk all things spiritual and a little bit of channeling information here today. So, looking forward to this one. Welcome, Katya.
Oh, thank you. I'm so
Absolutely.
excited to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So tell me a little bit about you and about how you became a channel. Let's start there. What?
Well, that was very interesting. I apparently was a channeler for many, many years. I just had no clue what it was. It was just happening in my life, and I didn't know what it was. I thought everybody liked this. Emotions, not emotions, knowing things, doing things, and like, wow, I predicted. So it was very actually interesting. Roughly 20 years ago, I got divorced. That was very unexpected. Thunderstorm on a sunny day. That's how I would describe it. And
Mhm.
now I can tell that's when my awakening happening. That was my initiation.
I think that happens for a lot of people, right? They have that big life event happen. That was me getting back in touch with my intuition was the divorce. So I totally feel that. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but wow.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it resonates with so many people because we're going through these events. And it's like, for me, it felt I'm literally like, I'm dying. I had moments back then when I was be talking to my family in my head because I was too afraid to even bring it up and say how I felt because it was so intense. It was so emotionally intense and
Mhm.
difficult. But well, guess what? I survived, right? I'm here. And if you're going to ask me right now, what my the most important event in my life, the
Yeah.
event which I will be doing over and over and over again, if I would have chance to change it, well, guess what? That event, that divorce, I would say, do it again. Because what I discovered, the way how I was able to discover myself, it was absolutely amazing, astonishing. It's something which like, oh my God, now I can tell everyone, look, people, look, this is the worst, but at the same time, the best.
Absolutely. It's wild, isn't it? Like, oh, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. It just feels really strange when we are, um, going through life and then we have this big trauma and it transforms everything in this beautiful way. And we're like, but it really hurt. Like, I don't know. But then we couldn't imagine not going through it. I think it's very much like childbirth, like having kids. Like, it's the same kind of thing.
And I can tell you why, by the way, because it's a question which a lot of people asking right now, and a lot of people like, you know what? No, I don't want these emotions. It's too much. It's too intense. It hurts. But at the same time, the reason why we feel these emotions is simply as that because we can. There are a lot of people who cannot feel that far, and we are individuals who can feel that deep. We are bridges for people who is learning how. This is why we experience in this highs and lows, and people like, I don't want to do lows anymore. No way. But this is how us going into that low, we're helping other people to feel. Because when I'm as individual, experiencing feeling. It's not just me. I'm working on a collective level. I'm working for other people who cannot process the grief. I'm assisting them by processing the grief. There is a twist here because we impasse, so the way how we processing grief, all the way 1,000 miles per hour into the bucket. And then we're like, whoa, why it just happened? And then we're sitting with that. Why am I processing this grief? There is nothing for me to even be aware of. And this is the key, actually, because we are stuck with the emotion. We're kind of like nitpicking on it. Universe is like, oh, thank you. You want to sit longer? You don't know what it is yet. Fine, sure. Sit longer. Be there. Enjoy. It seems like you're really enjoying. The trick is you experiencing fully, you opening your door, you inviting it in, you feeling it, and then you letting it out. You transmuting this emotion. And when people opening their eyes, this is what we need to do, it becomes, oh my God, I can do the work now. Please hire me in. Yes. Well, when I labeled it a few years ago, not 20, few, when I finally realized that I am absolutely what I have, it's the parts of the same process, the same channel, that happened again only a few years ago. Although I was labeled in society, let's put this way, I was labeled, oh, she knows it all the time. Because I would say something and think would be like, how did she know? And it's like, I don't know, I'm smart. I guess that's why. And this is why the whole label didn't came just came later in life, because I'm just smart. Well, and I am, I know, but because I have math degree, like I've done all this hard science, so I'm smart. That's okay. And then later, when I found out, like, wow, it's not that simple. It's much, much more there than I thought. I was reading from universe. And the funny part happens when we're more relaxed, that's the right information comes through. Although when we're stressed out, we do get information like, yep, don't jump. There is a tiger. Don't jump. Something's there. So there are a lot of questions a lot of people have, like, whom do I trust? What do I do? Because there are so many different types of impasse. We feel, but we also see. We also have imagining things, and we know that we're imagining. So we're like, well, you imagined. That's not true. Like, what do I do with this? And this is where I kind of like, I think it's time. I think it's time to share what I discovered with others, because it's so uplifting when you finally, oh, I know what to do about it. So when I finally got the label, it felt like, wow, good. I'm impasse. Time to celebrate.
It puts the puzzle pieces together, right? Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about channeling, because I know that you are a channel. When did you kind of discover that talent, or has that always been there for you?
I'm going to answer this question a little bit out of order, and you will see
Okay,
why.
I love
Because
it.
we imagining, it's our perception, who is the channel. Channel is the person who hears, let's call it entity for now, who hears entity and
Yeah.
passes information, right? Yeah, wrong. Well, no, it's actually true. It's right. But it's much, much more than that. Because when you channel, you have different, like an artist, for example. Artist has pencils, pens, pastels, or acrylic or oil, all kinds of ways how you can just to put on canvas and create an art. The same goes with the channeler. Channeler is a person who has multiple options available. You can work on all of them. For some options come easier than others. For some, discovery would come in such a colorful environment. And for me, for example, what happened when I started channeling, it showed up as a smell, as the images, feelings. And when I had all three, I thought, nah, that's not the channeling. Channeling is different. People who can channel, they're different people. They can hear, they can say. And this is where I have a passion to share, because we have labels and we're going after these labels with determination. And guess what we're doing? We're taking ourselves out of the equation. Like, oh, that's not us. No, that's exactly us. Because with all the way how I'm receiving information, right now it's all of it. It's I can hear messages, I can feel messages, but in the past it was just images, and it's like, what do I do with those? They're so weird. They're colorful, but they're like, I have no idea what it is. It took me a while to figure out what to do with this. So you see, this whole channeling path, it's a journey. It's that, like question one of my cards, for example, the destiny, and the channel messages for destiny was, it's not a destination, it's a journey.
The destination. Yeah. I found that interesting because you did pull some cards today and we're like, oh, those cards are making sense. So I would love to like share them with everybody and see if anybody else is also feeling like, ooh, I'm feeling really seen right here.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just pull one, and it's a half deck. It's not the full deck. I'm still in the process of working, and oh my goodness, this is the card I pulled.
Essence. Ooh, the physical container for our essence, and only part of it can be stored in our body. Essence is the connection between our body and higher self. Expanding, we can invite more of our essence into our body, which is really what we're talking about here, which is so wild, right?
Yes.
Like we're talking about channeling, we're talking about getting in touch with all the parts of us and hearing them and understanding what the message is. I love that.
Yeah.
I love
In
that.
essence, I cannot believe honestly myself, but hey, I shouldn't be surprised anymore. Out of 12 cards, which in my hand right now, I pulled the main one, the main conversation starter for this specific conversation. This is what we are. In essence, it's only just a little bit in us. And when we invite more, we start shining from inside out.
Mm-hmm.
We're going on the street and people are thinking, oh, they're crazy. It's like, oh yeah, we are. We absolutely, we in love with everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to pull one more card to see what else, because sometimes it's in
someone else's face and showing a hidden emotion. It was like a big frown. So kind of wild, hey?
Yeah.
Interesting.
When you said somebody else's face, where? In the card?
Yeah, she was seeing someone else's face. It was someone's face was different and showing their hidden emotion. And it was a huge frown. So I don't know if it was someone that she knew, but the face looked slightly different, which happens sometimes with reincarnation and seeing our divine spirit, right? Like our divine spirit is like our true self.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you agree with that. So yeah, it's really neat. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh.
Well, and this is the whole part, because our bodies are designed to tell us the truth. Meaning, when you're going somewhere, you already know when you have that feeling, oh, maybe not today, maybe not the right place. And We still sometimes go in the directions we don't want to go, but we're still going. And there is a difference between two events, which I would like to kind of highlight. One, we sitting and waiting for the environment to be perfect. And then we're going to start going places. That's one side of the story. In another, we absolutely know this is not the right place. It's like, okay, fine. And our guides and our higher self, like, okay, I've seen that movie 10,000 times, but I guess you didn't learn the lesson yet. So go for it. And the whole story was like, well, can you believe this was the worst day of my life? It's like, well, sure, but you showed us that you still want to do it, so we support you. We have all kinds of cheerleaders behind us, our spiritual cheerleaders. They're like, absolutely, anything you want, my dear. And the first one, when we sometimes having that mixed, that's why I was kind of making points out of this, because we're not going directions and then we're kind of like, oh, I forced myself to go that direction. And when we find an excuse when we're not going somewhere, we're like, okay, everything should be perfect, or my spirit told me not to go there. And that second one is like, translates into, well, I'm kind of being a little bit lazy today, and I'm going to see and wait when the universe is going to throw something at me that I can catch it. So this is that's why the class which I created helps to put us kind of like straight. Which one of those events, what should we do? Because we mistakenly think that somebody else will come and fix it for us. Somebody else will come and lead us somewhere. And we are forgetting the main part, that someone else, that universe, it's us.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is so fascinating that you say that, because there is a huge desire in humanity, in us individually, or even collectively, to let somebody else take care of us, right? We all want to go back to that space where someone else tells us what to do and we don't have to make those decisions. Like, I would say 90% of the world that is their ultimate fantasy, is to never have to make another decision again as long as they live, except in rare cases where they actually want to. But for most of it, they don't want to. Like, they just want to be spoon-fed stuff. And I'm not like that. I've never been like that. I mean, in my fantasy world, maybe a little bit in like relationships, maybe like where someone else like finally takes the reins when it comes to money or something. But aside from that, no, I want to run the ship, right? But a lot of people don't. A lot of people are really threatened by that. So I think
Funny what you said that, because while I was listening to you, what came in, literally the same word over and over and over again, fear, fear, fear. And you ended your sentence with threatened, because people don't do that, not because they don't want to, but because they're literally paralyzed with fear.
Yeah.
What if that step is wrong? What if it's going to hurt again? What if I'm going to experience that emotion in a level that I cannot handle it anymore? What if I'm going to hurt myself by just stepping forward? And the funny part is, there is a way to overcome it. There is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Like, guess what? Everything that I'm talking about, I felt myself. And like you said, like, oh, I'm not that person. The funny part is, I'm not that person either. But I had period of my life when I was like, no, just tell me what to do and I will do it perfectly. I will do all of it, but I don't want to make decision. I already made so many decisions. How can I? And the trick is here to listen to yourself, because when it's time to act, you will act. When it's time to contemplate, you will contemplate.
Yeah.
Turn towards yourself with the word compassion. We are so wonderfully equipped to deal with other people and show them compassion.
Oh, yeah.
What about
Right?
us?
Yeah.
We are other people.
Right?
We are deserve compassion. Why we bossing ourselves around saying, well, you have to. No, you don't. And if we turn around towards ourselves and imagine that we're talking to a child, small child, the child just spilled the milk. What are you going to say to a child? Well, you, just spilled the milk. What's wrong with you? No, you're going to wipe the milk and go forward. So, invitation is when you have this thought process, one triggers you into, well, again, I'm sitting on my tush and I'm doing nothing. Come on, it's okay. Divine timing is everything.
Mhm.
Recognizing divine timing is the second part of everything.
Absolutely.
We're whole. We're not halves. We don't need to look for anyone and wait for anyone to come and sweep us off our feet or fill us up because we're only half. We're whole.
Yep. And that's so beautiful to think that we are whole. I mean, I know for a lot of people it's terrifying, but it's actually beautiful, right? Like
Yeah.
we're whole. We are complete within ourselves. You complete me? No, I complete me.
It's a
That's a
bonus.
nice to have, not a necessity. I'm a
Yes.
necessity.
Yes. And if you take a look, if we kind of imagine, let's take a look at our body, right? Brain, two halves, right?
Mhm.
Lungs, two kidneys. Woman has two, whatever, I forgot the name for it.
We have two ovaries and two
Ovaries, thank you so much.
fallopian. Yes. Yeah.
You see,
Absolutely.
this is where it comes with implications of us thinking that, oh, if I'm all this, maybe there is somebody else who is going to fix me, fit into my wholeness, and make us whole because I'm only half. And the reason why it's happening, it's our brain, as we know, both our brain parts, they're one for art, one for analytics, totally fine. People forgot the main equipment. We have one brain. That's one. So analytics and creativity, they supposed to work together by design. And if we
Right?
yeah, and like we have there's an image circulating on the internet. It actually started like a long time ago, video, to be honest. It's a dancer like in a certain position, and she just spins. Everybody's saying, oh, it's illusion, delusion, you call it. The idea behind this image depends on what part of the brain of yours working right now, that direction that lady is going to spin. It's the
Yeah.
same image, but it's going to be a left and right. And some
Yes, I've
people like,
seen this one. It's so cool.
yes.
Yeah.
The funny part is people like maybe Gandhi, for example, um, for them, she's going to stay still. And the reason why she's going to stay still for them, because their left side, left hemisphere and right hemisphere in their body is balanced. Masculine and feminine is balanced. For them, that dancer will not move. One more example, you're looking at the dancer, you're having a conversation with a person, and person prompts something for you to start thinking analytically, and you will see how the dancer is going to switch and start rotating to different direction. So, like I said, there are a lot of people who like, oh, it's misconception, misrepresentation. But from spiritual point of view, there is a totally valid explanation how our body reacts. Yes, we're calling it illusion. Well, Tesla was called much worse words, but hey, he's a genius. So when we don't understand, we have tendency to label it. And for example, neurodivergent kids, they have a label like, oh, they're off. Oh no, they are our future. And the
Yes.
reason why, because the all autism boils down to the fact that those souls are so uncomfortable in their physical body, they just do not know what to do. But their souls uncomfortable in the physical body because they rarely access the body, meaning they're coming to Earth for few reincarnations. Sorry, difficult word.
Okay.
And they are humans who kind of gives, they're scientists usually, who gives humanity advantages. So those souls, they're coming from absolutely artificial planets, in some cases even, and they creating something different. That's why when you're understanding those folks, there are so many of them. I honestly celebrate this. It's because, oh my God, we're so close. We're so close to something absolutely amazing. Like our life is going to transform. And this is why I'm so absolutely in connection with my soul and on my mission to help others, to invite others to imagine and connect with themselves, because it's time. We're all there.
It is
We
time. Yeah. Yeah. It's been wild over the last 5, 6 years watching the transformation in the collective. Um, and then 2020 when like a whole bunch of souls were like, "Okay, I'm done. Bye," because we'd gone through a big up leveling spiritually, and then 2020 happened, and a bunch of them were like, "Okay, I'm bored. I want out." Kind of all at the same time. They're like, "Okay, bye." And now we are the ones that are left are either like completely unaware of the fact that we've done this big transformation and we've up leveled like crazy, or they're like you and me and we're like rebuilding in a new and unusual fun way and trying to create the life that fits with that higher vibration that we're sitting at right now, which is just so cool. I'm so excited.
we're holding that vibration. And you see, this is the whole reality. We do not need everyone on the planet to hold this vibration. We have to have enough people to set the stage. And for other people, it would be no other way. Because what's happening for example, channeling, you can channel, information. You also can channel emotion, and you can channel frequency, and you can
Hmm.
bring transmission. I had a situation. It wasn't situation. It was actually a presentation in person, and when I was presenting this information, one woman and she was in a wheelchair, and she kept apologizing to me. She's like, "I cannot stay awake," and I said, "That's okay, because the way how I talk, when I talk, I bring energy with me. I'm bringing that healing energy," and that's what happened for her specific case. She wasn't able to stay awake because her body needed so profoundly to implement that energy it was receiving. It literally had to check out her brain because her brain was trying to control the experience. And energy said, "Well, no, thank you. We can't." And I explained this to her. She felt much better, but it does happen. It does happen in some ways when energy is too much,
Yep.
but in the right way.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yes,
I love it. Um, let's do a little game.
absolutely. I'm all for it.
Let's do a little channel right now for the collective in the group and
Mhm.
see what comes. Like if you tap into that, what message do you get that's like for everybody?
And I'm going to describe a little bit before I will start channeling. I
Okay.
am conscious channeler, which means you will feel it as a conversation. You will feel the message. You might notice that my body twitches a little bit if one channel comes in, but I would open my eyes. The reason why I'm doing it this way, because I made a commitment and it's my choice. I would like to witness the channeled message. I would like to be present. In this case, I am receiving this message as well as others. So
Mm-hmm.
just
Love it.
you might experience some change, might not. My voice might change, but the idea is still going to be I will open my eyes. We'll
I
see
love
how it
it. I
goes.
love
So
it. Awesome. Cool.
I see a lot of light, shiny light, bright light. I'm going to ask to step a little bit further so that I can see the message. I see mountains. I see a lot of fog. Fog is coming. Fog is coming down. And what I see, interesting, for some reason, I don't see any roads anymore. It becomes like in a natural habitat, like we have paths, but we don't have roads anymore. We have some interesting shapes. They're like mushrooms. I do not know what it is. They do look like mushrooms.
Interesting.
In the message, you're actually doing it. You are part of it. This is your creation. This is your imagination. This is your heart comes to fruition. Everything from your heart. Bring your brain along the way. Get together and start spitting ideas, creating it together in a profound way, which is going to invite you to feel it and see it. Open your eyes. Use your brain to feel it through your eyes, with your imagination. Whatever you imagine is going to come to fruition. Bring it together. This is your future. This is your now. You are within and you are outside. You bring in change. Change is already here. Don't pay attention to fear, which is going to be popping up back and forth on your path. Accept fear. Invite fear into your house, experiencing it, feel it fully, and transmute and let it go. And allow yourself to be full of positive emotions, balanced emotions. Because when fear would come in, it's not necessarily to say, oh, I would like you to feel as a fear, I would like to be threatened. It's more like balance. Because when you have a joy, and joy can make you drunk, can make you pretty much overwhelmed with the joy. So fear comes in and it balances. It grounds us. It helps us to find the balance between right and left hemispheres. It connects us. It connects us and builds the wholeness which we're missing for so long. The wholeness which we think we never had. It's remembrance. How to be whole, balanced, connected, and loving, and absolutely loved by environment and yourself. Thank you.
So may it ever be, forever and ever and ever. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. And I hope that a lot of other people got something out of that too. I know I did. It definitely resonated with me. Like, yeah, there's a lot that we need to embrace that fear, right? We need to embrace it and push through it a little bit. So what's on the other side is the amazingness.
Yes. And I would change a little bit in the statement by, because when we're saying push through, we have that resistance built up inside of us. Like, well, we have to do the work. Um, how about invite as a friend?
Yes.
Maybe not necessarily a friend, but when it's wild weather outside, are you going to leave anybody outside to freeze? Maybe not a friend, but show that compassion to bring it in and say you would like to be in the light. That's okay. Sit with me. You invited. And you will see the transformation which is going to happen in that moment because fear is looking for the light. It was spending so much time in the dark that it's tired of it as well. So it comes inside. And the more we're saying, no, thank you, no, thank you, go away, no, 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 the more we're rejecting, the more we are living again the same, playing the same game. Like, hey, apparently you like it, have more of this. And the idea is to just open the door, let in, and move forward. Because that fear, it's not necessarily that ugly and difficult thing. It's just connection with yourself. We experiencing fear because we so disconnected at times. And no judgment, not whatsoever. All of us, even people who feel they're connected, we have our moments. We are getting either into our head, only into our heart, into our emotions. We're all over the place. But then bring everything in. Like that arc with couples, right? Couple of everything. Joy and fear coming together in a pair. Because there is no joy without fear.
And there's no fear without joy. Yeah.
There's, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a part of the same game.
The yin and the yang. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, question for you. In
Yeah.
your programs, do you channel for people? Is that part of what you?
Yes.
Okay.
The
Awesome.
program design in the easier way. It's going to be a lesson would open up on a weekly basis. That's why I'm offering the first 2 weeks for free to people to try. The idea is if people would like to sign up, they pay for the class. If they decide that this is not for them, within first 2 weeks, in the program it says until which day they're going to get refund and we'll move forward. Because lesson opens up every week, so before third week of this whole process, um, everything is possible. This is the first part. Second part, weekly calls. And those weekly calls include these sessions where we'll be channeling, we'll be practicing, we'll be working together. And the reason why, first of all, they're going to be recorded. So there is access to this information as we go. And when we're going to have more than one person who is open up, it amplifies. And this is when people like, oh, I'm not channeler. Yes, you are. Come and join us. You will feel it. And this is where the whole experience. This is why I'm not offering like, oh, let's do this kind of one-on-one discovery calls, because this is not that discovery. That's why I'm offering 2 weeks trial period, because that's the discovery I would like people to see, to experience. So yes, it's a lesson per week and a call where we have the experiencing the game itself, channeling, amplification, frequencies, because it's important part to find the definition of that. And I'm still depends on the how many people going to sign up. I'm going to see if second call is going to be in order, because idea is to have the small groups and definitely homework.
I
And
like that.
people going to be paired together in a way that they can experience with somebody else.
I love that. Yeah. And I just want to say, like, everyone can channel and everyone is channeling all the time. But are you channeling the things that you actually need to hear, or are you channeling, you know, just random stuff. Like, let's be channeling the things we actually need to hear, right?
And this is why a lot of people have, when they finally get to realization, oh, I'm channeling, the next stage comes in. It's like, what am I channeling? And this is very valid question, because guess what we did in the past? We're channeling our ego very effectively, and it saved us, and it's perfect. We're right now in a little bit different scenario, so we need to be more specific where we're going, because a lot of people will start like, oh, I'm channeling fear. And guess what? Frequencies, remember I mentioned that, which means we're going to channel frequency of fear, and we're going to feel how it feels. So we're going to build this resilience and discernment, what is what. And when you receive a message with practice, you will know, can you trust your message, or it's again your ego trying to play in the game?
Yeah, it's kind of wild, right? Like
Yes.
we we let our ego run so much of our lives for so long, and then kind of hit our mid 40s and we think like, I don't want to do this anymore. Forget that.
Oh, you brought this up. Thank you so much for reminding me. Here it is. What is it, masculine energy?
Mm,
It's what? And what is it, feminine energy? It's how. When we're going to bring these two together and balance them, your masculine, I need to do it, with feminine, how you would like to do it, is going to create that balance and finesse. And you're going to go with the same idea, like, oh, my ego was driving me. Like, no, yes, in the beginning. And now it's balanced. Now we're doing it doing differently. We're slowing down in order to speed up.
hmm. It's a beautiful thing. I love slowing down to speed up. It's almost like I had someone describe it like you're an arrow and the bow is being pulled back to really like slow you down, and then it's just gonna like let go and you'll
Yes.
be like whoosh, really fast, which I think is a beautiful metaphor for that.
Quantum jump. In this
Absolutely.
case, it's like you jump in different realities, and your life becomes more profound and full and absolutely amazing to your liking.
Absolutely. Which is what we should all be aspiring to, right?
Yes, that's what
Absolutely.
here.
Awesome. Well, we've dropped the link down below, so definitely go check out Katya's offer. She's been very generous to offer you guys 2 free weeks. She normally doesn't do that, so thank you, Katya. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. Any final thoughts for you?
Yes, and actually, if there is a sign up, if person would like to sign up, do it in December, because course starts on January 6th. Yeah, I think it's 6th Monday. Yeah, I had to check the calendar, and the offer is going to the regular offer is going to be back to regular offer, because it's not only 2 weeks, but it's also discounted price because of the holidays and all this spiritual cheer, holiday cheer, any cheer, all kinds of cheer. So yes, yeah, please join me
And
at this event.
yeah, don't forget all of the offers that everybody's making. You know, buy them for yourself, but buy them for other people too. Because
Yes.
everybody else needs to know all of this stuff. Like Katya's offer, you all need to be sharing this with everybody. Like this is not just like hide it for yourself in your little like gremlin hole. No, no.
You
Share it
know,
with
I'm going to take a minute of your time, but I have to share this.
Okay, I love it.
I had a client. He is he all of a sudden, let's call it woke up, right? All of a sudden, he's like, oh my God, I start hearing voices. He thought he's crazy. So he became medium overnight.
Oh,
Poor guy. Why? Because he's like, I don't understand why people are running away from me. And I like, dude, there you coming with so many entities behind you, because you need to work on your boundaries. So you see, like, yeah, people becoming mediums, and this is their gift, and then it drives them nuts. And with the proper technique, they can establish boundaries, and they can find the reconnect with themselves, how to do it. But
Absolutely.
it's not
Yeah,
draining them, but it uplifting them.
absolutely. I think honestly, a lot of schizophrenia is actually just hearing voices that
Hmm.
they don't understand and they freak out. And then,
Yeah.
of course, because they freaked out, they only hear the negative ones, like the demons and not the angels. So then, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point that you're going to make yourself crazy if you weren't already, which is horrifying. Horrifying.
I'm not going to claim that I'm here to fix schizophrenia, but yes, you're right. There are a lot of moments when we have to consider, and one people feel that all of a sudden their life changed overnight, and there are a lot of people right now. The gifts are just not knocking on the door anymore. They just kind of opening the door with the foot, literally. It's not like, oh, I'm going to wait for you to be. No, it just comes in. It's like, I'm here. Here's Johnny. And now you have to deal with a Johnny. And it's like, well, what do I do? And this is why I designed this class, to help everybody to find their place, to find
Absolutely.
how they can reconnect with themselves.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing, right? Like it's when we are in the right place at the right time doing the right work, everything lines up and
Yeah.
it just flows
Yes.
beautifully. And
Mhm.
before we know it, we're just like having that centering moment and being like, "Ooh, yeah, I can totally feel this." And it's a good thing.
I
So,
feel everything, and guess what? I'm alive. Yes, that's an absolutely amazing feeling, because you start seeing and feeling things differently, and you have that performance of, oh, I'm working for the society when I'm processing these feelings, rather than like, oh, here again, where's my bucket of ice cream for 3 days? No, and it becomes shorter. Like right now, I do have all these feelings. They're not going anywhere. I have teenagers in the house. They are really working hard to keep me on my toes. And even with them, I did notice like I have these feelings of emotional roller coaster and things like, okay, I know what to do with this. Because some days it's just, in the past, it would be like, oh, emotions came in, closed for business. Now it just takes some time to work through, and it's sometimes 5, 10 minutes, sometimes it's a minute even. And we're talking about 3 days with the ice cream bucket. You see, so it's different. It's such a profound perception and shift in the mindset that it's really helpful.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. It was fantastic. Greatly appreciate it. And everybody should go check out her link and sign up.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you for having me. I had a blast. Thank you.
absolutely. Yes. Okay. Awesome.
Bye.
I'm your host, Sherisse Marie, and I want to thank you for joining us today on the Spiritual Growth Podcast. It's always a privilege to share this sacred space with you. We hope you carry these reflections with you throughout the week, letting them guide your actions and enrich your spirit. And as always, we're here to support you every step of the way. We love hearing from you, so feel free to leave comments or reach out with your thoughts. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and remember, you are never alone on this path. Together, let's continue walking towards greater awareness and deeper connection. Take care and be well.